Hey guys, Coach Chris Laughlin here, and we're back, and we're gonna just talk about quickly my kind of recipe for the average person to stay healthy. The reason why I say the average person is because you don't have to train like an athlete. You don't have to train like you're going into competition or battle. There's some pretty simple things you can do, and the way that I look at staying healthy is like a tripod. There's going to be three things, and your goal is to maintain those three things as best as possible. Now, if you completely neglect one, just like a tripod, you start to crumble. So we got to try to maintain these three things. The breakdown of the tripod is your kind of exercise and fitness, and then your diet and nutrition, and then lastly, your stress management. So let's kind of break those down just a little bit. So, your exercise and fitness. First off, if you don't exercise at all, then the best thing you can start doing is find something you just enjoy that is somewhat physically demanding. So, that might be as simple as going on a bike ride, joining a spin class, just lifting weights. Whatever it is, find something that you maybe enjoy that can at least get you doing some kind of exercise on a regular basis. I have a bit of a bias to what type of training people should be doing. I think that people's training should involve the combination of strength training, mobility, and some endurance or cardiovascular endurance type training. And that's just because you can pretty much cover everything the body needs in a pretty short span. So I like to use full range of motion strength exercises. The reason why I say full range of motion is because what that does is it also takes the joints through a full range of motion and increases your mobility and strength into those joints. And then the strength exercise is some resistance training. So we're also getting a lot of benefits to getting stronger in the body, increasing our bone density and things like that. And then I like to follow that type of work up with some type of, where we're increasing our heart rate and kind of maintaining our heart rate. And so that usually comes in the form of like maybe some interval type training or like just a cardiovascular type training, going on a longer jog, bike ride, rowing, things like that. And then just kind of letting that kind of undulate throughout the week. So that can be done as low as like maybe 3 times a week. So start trying to find like maybe a strength and conditioning regimen that you can do just a few days a week. So that's kind of what you want to be thinking about as far as your exercise and fitness. First off, just make sure you start doing something. Find something you enjoy because you're going to maintain it a lot longer. If you find something you don't enjoy, you're probably going to fall off the wagon. So find something that you enjoy doing that feels good, that's fun for you. And then on top of that, if you're going to go just the strength and conditioning route, find something that appears to be fairly well-rounded and try to do it at least 3 times a week. We see great results with 3 days a week. And obviously, if it's a well-designed program, you can increase from there if it's something you really enjoy. Next, let's go into kind of your diet and nutrition. I'm not a nutritionist, so we'll say that right off the bat. But there are some like 101s that everybody can do that we know have some benefits to your health. And that is to try to primarily eat earth-grown foods. So we want to really avoid or primarily limit as much as possible the things like pastas and breads. We want to eliminate sugar as much as possible. That's probably one of the biggest ones. So stay away from like the high sugar sodas and things like that. And then the foods that we should be eating is your plate should primarily consist of meats, vegetables, and then like your healthy fats, your nuts, your seeds, avocado, things like that. So it's a relatively simple format, and it's one that most people enjoy if they actually just kind of start doing it. And then it's also important to figure out how you like to eat those things. So it just takes a little bit of playing around, but you can really find some really enjoyable meals And then if you're primarily eating that way, I'm not saying never have a slice of pizza. I'm not saying never have a dessert, but you really need to think of those as like an occasion. So, once a week I'm going to treat myself with this as opposed to once a day. So start thinking in terms of that. So eat primarily meats, vegetables, and vegetables. You got to eat some vegetables. Fruits are good too. Fruits, a serving of fruit each day is great. You probably don't need it with every single meal. Vegetables are something you can eat with every single meal. So, but you got to start eating some vegetables. Figure out which ones you like, stick with them, figure out how you like to cook them, and go that route. So there's kind of like the 101s of like the nutrition side of it. And again, you don't have to get real strict. Don't worry about measuring things at first. Don't worry about finding a dietitian unless you just need somebody that is going to tell you what to do. But really what you need to do is when you look at your plate, just make sure it's primarily filled with that types of food. So don't get stressed out about that. Just start being a little bit more conscious of it when you go to the stores. The things that are going to probably expire a little bit quicker, probably the things that are a little bit better for you to be eating. So the things that are going to be able to sit on your shelf for months and months and months, probably not that great to throw into your system. So when you go shopping, just kind of keep that in mind when you're selecting your food. Make sure your cart looks like it's primarily full of that type of food: the meats, vegetables, some fruit, nuts, seeds, avocados. Try to kind of maintain that as your primary source, and then treat yourself every now and then. And then lastly is going to be stress management. This is a big one, but the thing that you're probably going to most be able to control that's going to have the largest impact on your stress is going to be your sleep. You got to try to start you got to start trying to work in more sleep and quality sleep, because that's going to be one of the biggest things for you being able to manage stress inside your body and in your mind. So that's what I would challenge you to try to target. Even if that means you're able to tack on 20 minutes extra of sleep, or if you're a shift worker and you can get a nap in, things like that have a huge impact on your body and your ability to manage stress. So I would go that route, and obviously other stressors in your body can affect you in other ways. But the thing that are probably going to have the largest impact is going to be working on your sleep, and that's what I'm going to challenge you to do. Things that you can do for your sleep to make sure that you're getting better sleep is, one, try to stick to a schedule. So even when the weekends come around, try to still go to bed at the same time and wake up at the same time. Shoot for a minimum of, I'm going to give you a little bit of leeway here, a minimum of 7 hours. Basically means you're kind of like maintaining. Ideally, we're getting closer to that 8 to 9 hours, because then we're really starting to see like also a big uptick in a lot of things. So get on a schedule all the way through the week. Make sure your room is very, very dark. Light is something that can pull you out of some of this deep sleep. Make sure it's cool in the house. You don't want to be warm while sleeping, so you want to go to bed relatively cool. That's why sometimes if you're trying to go to bed and it's warmer, you might have the tendency to wake up in the middle of the night. So make sure you're really cooling down the house if possible. Try not to eat or drink really close to when you're going to bed. So try to avoid within the last few hours before getting ready to sleep, having any kind of alcohol or food into the body. That's something that can also kind of curb some of that good quality sleep. So try to factor those things in, and you got to also try to avoid maybe screen time when you're laying in bed, especially if you wake up in the middle of the night. Try not to get back on your phone. That's something that's really going to start creating this alertness and get you wide awake again. So if you do wake up in the middle of the night, don't stress about it, but try to lay there. Keep the room dark. Try not to get on your phone. Just try to calm yourself down and see if you can just go back to sleep. It's very normal to sometimes wake up, but it's not normal to be up for hours and hours in the middle of the night. So try to avoid the screen during that. So there's some things that you can do as far as like managing your stress that's going to have the highest impact. I would try to target that before anything. Like I said, adding 30 minutes of sleep is huge. Shoot for that minimum of 7 hours, and if you can, increase from there. because your body will thank you so much. And just your ability to manage your normal day-to-day stressors will significantly decrease. So, my 3 pillars: some exercise, at least a few days a week, find something you enjoy, or get onto a strength and conditioning program that you respect. 2, eat primarily food that the earth provides. It's easier than you think. Just start doing it. 3 is manage your stress primarily by getting better sleep, more and better sleep. Even if you can't get more, get better sleep. So there's my kind of 3 pillars, my tripod to staying healthy. Really, if you manage those things in some degree, you're going to do pretty well and you're going to feel really, really good. I'm going to use this as a chance to also plug my programs that I just released. We got 2 online strength and conditioning programs out. One that uses weights for the resistance training portion of it with some conditioning, and the other one that uses just your body as the resistance training for the strength training plus some conditioning. So they are full strength and conditioning programs. One, you're going to need some equipment like weights. The other one, primarily your body. Ideally, we would find maybe a pull-up bar that's in the neighborhood park or something like that, or get one of those simple ones that go in a door frame. But those 2 programs are only $40 a month, and I'm only taking on 20 people in each one. And that's so that way I can answer questions, reply to stuff as we kind of go, as you go through the program. So if you're interested in that, I will put it into the comments, or feel free to just reach out to me through my website, bluewavefitness.com, or you can email me, chris@bluewavefitness.com. There are 4 workouts a week, very manageable. You can do 3 of them a week if you need to start somewhere kind of a little bit lower than that. And the workouts are only going to take you probably about 45 minutes to an hour tops, and it's going to cover warm-up, strength, conditioning, and some stretching at the end. And you can knock that out pretty quickly, at least a few days a week, and you've got an option of a 4th day. If you liked this video and want more content like this, please subscribe by clicking my image over here, and keep submitting questions, and we will keep doing this. Thanks a lot, guys. Stay healthy.